money management, and how to have freedom with money. Well, I'm gonna cover several things. I'm assuming you already probably already heard some things. Before I go into details about the money management, which is like a very important skill to have, this is very useful to apply your own life, and also if you're running a company or you're running a team and you're responsible, then this is part of it because when you're the P&L director of a team, you probably are doing everything like running your own business unit. So with that, I'm gonna share several things. Maybe you may be learning 5 things new, or 3 things new, or even 2 things new. But the most important thing is just try to see what are one thing you can do from it, one thing you can take away from this, and you can apply, because that's when you get some change and you do some small step, and that helps you. Uh, So I want to give you a different context first because I'm sure you probably read some stuff already on money management. Even though this is for beginners, still there are always some things new you pick up when you're learning. Like I always learn from my couple of mentors, and I'm still learning all the time with several subjects like investments or stuff like that. Because there's always evolution. Like you can always become better at what you're doing. So with that, I want to give a context of the skill set. Skill set means, let's say your job is a roofer, like for a house, or your job is a remodeler, or your job is something with real estate, or your job is accountant. So you have some skill set that you have skilled. You are skilled in that. Now, when you think of this as a skill set, like money management, what are money in your life, you can think of that also as a skill set and how you're managing and what your level of skills are. So you can think of that like that in a way. And so in terms of skill sets, like if you have money management, these are the skills broadly that you may have, you should have, or you can work on improving. Budgeting money, like allocating money for different area of your life. Having a plan for your money, having a plan like future focus, or some kind of plan like 6 months, 3 months, or even a year, and that's a skill instead of just living for the day, instead of living paycheck to paycheck, whatever. That's the default we are programmed for. That's how we are programmed by default. Working with a team, like if you're married or you're working with somebody on something, like working together on money and negotiating and making, kind of make it work for everybody. There's a skill. So all these things are like skills, and you can check yourself where you are, and maybe you can take one small action item so you can be better in your skill sets. So I want to cover one more thing before I go into all the details, because the details are all the how. But before you go into the how, where you are right now is actually a lot more important, because it's all about you, where you are, and what's the next step for you. And sometimes, where you are, the next step. Some people are working on paying off the debt, credit card debt. Some people are working on getting a little bit more income on their because they're self-employed, and they are trying to look for an alternative income source, and they're trying to be better with the money management to allocate extra money for taxes or other things. So it always is very specific. It depends. Everybody is subject to, but this is more like a guideline. Before I go into how, that's when I cover this more, because it's very very important for you to realize everybody's a little different and your situation is very unique. So even though this applies for most of them, again depends on where you are. I'm assuming like a beginner because that's a good point. You can always checklist where you are. And now let's say you are at $3,000 per month, or you're $5,000 a month, or $10,000 a month income right now. So wherever you are, you can look at yourself where you are, like how you are with it. Because if you don't have this thing at that level, even if you have like a bigger payday, you probably will be the same way, because your mindset, your habits of how you think, how you are with your emotions, all those things come into the play. In reality, money management is your emotion management. Think of it like time management is your self management, how you manage yourself. Money management is actually how you manage your emotions. Like money management for investing, or money management to just take care of your life basic needs. These all kind of deal with your emotions basically. And when you're making small steps, you are evolving in yourself and how you are. So with that, I'm gonna cover some more things before I go into details. basically you're making decisions, like you're making a choice, like a priority, and these are all like some examples I'm going to include. It's ultimately your money, and what you do with it is your choice because it's your money, and you're showing your priorities with it, and also um, do stuff what's important to you, not just to show off or what others think about you. Sometimes all those things come into play. And I want to cover one more thing. There are many people who live paycheck to paycheck in spite of having good income because you just don't have the skills, all these things we just talked about, and emotionally you are not able to make the small steps at the time. But if you're ready and you're willing to take small steps, that's a very good starting point. And maybe you're already on your way and now you're looking to get into the investing game and other things, or even just to check the big picture. So with that, I'm gonna cover the details. So on a basic, the common advice is always same, right? Like, live within your means. Like, whatever you make, live within your means. Know your expenses, all list, and know what is left. Like after your income, after your expenses and income, anything is left, invest it. Now that's a high level, like simple way of the advice you get from anywhere. But again, like it's any other advice, it's simple but not easy. Just like many other things in life, this is one of those like simple but not easy because it's about you and how you are. Now you could be working on maybe increasing your income, or you can be just working on paying off your debt. Any of them, these all apply to the same situations. It's same for you. So with that, and I'm gonna go into more details. Needs. So if you're allocating your money, like once you have you prepare this list in your Excel sheet or even on paper, you can list all your expenses, and then kind of put in the categories. This is the budgeting skill. Okay, on a high level, you have needs. This can be your housing, transportation, your health. Any expense you make related to health is a need, like necessity. Bills, like phone bills or electric bills. All these are necessities. So these are all essentials, like housing, transportation, your health. I mean, it can be health insurance or it can be any other whatever expenses you have related to health. I mean, there are a lot more like other necessities like bills, like what are bills? If you have to pay off your debt, some minimum bills. So all of those are necessities because if you don't pay off, you're gonna be bad credit. So these are all needs, and this is usually gonna be at least 40 to 60%, like after taxes. So it's a big chunk. So your needs are taking a lot of your income. Now, obviously, if you're living in New York City, maybe even 70%, because New York City cost of living is higher, and even though you have a good income, because the cost of living is very high, you're gonna have the needs cost higher. So that's just to know where you stand. Needs should be like about 40 to 60%, and there's no hard and fast rule because it's very specific to every person and what's good for you at where you are. And it's just a general guidelines. You don't want to spend like more than 60% on just needs. If you are, that's fine, but just be aware. Like a big chunk is going just for your needs. And the next is emergency. You want to keep at least 5 to 10% for emergency, 5 to 10%, so that you have something for a rainy day. If you like losing your job or even having a broken car, broken flat tire with your car. So you need to go and get an emergency repair for the car, and you don't have any savings left. It's really bad because you can't go to work, right? You gotta go to work. So emergency at least keep 10%. I would say at least a minimum $1,000 to $2,000. If you don't have this, you must have it because in some states like Texas or other places where it's legal, you can get a payday loan, but it's very high interest. You don't want to be in that situation. Like it's like you're going to hospital. Like why you want to go there? You prepare, be planned. Otherwise, you're gonna pay a very high price. I mean, you can get the help, but it's gonna cost you a lot. So you should have at least a couple of $1,000 saved for emergency. Ideally, 2 months of your living expenses for covering your job loss. But that's up to you where you are. But at least 2 months of your cost 2 months of your living expenses you should have in cash, or at least close to cash where you can get it if you need it. Because emergency, if you get into some emergencies and you're not cash, you're gonna run into emergency. You're gonna pay a lot. Like I mean, you can use your credit cards if you have. That's always you have like 25 days time, so that's not a bad idea actually if you need it, if you can use it. But sometimes you can't. If you can't pay rent and the situations, stuff like that. So emergencies, you should have at least 10% or even more if you can put in savings. And then you have future investing separate section. So this is where you would, if any savings you have, you would put in your investing for your future fund, for your future self, or you're planning to buy a house or anything that's for your future. That way you're building yourself up for your future. It can give you, it can be like your money working for you and making more money for you. So many things come in this thing like future investing. And if you are somebody like these salespeople who are making 6 figures but living paycheck to paycheck, this is an area you want to just put some extra, because what are the good stuff is going on may not be there later on. Like sometimes it's good for some times, but later you may not have the same thing. So this is a good way to good to keep some extra money in the investing and for your future. It can be also investing in your training, in yourself, learning, like you're doing right now. So because there are a lot of things you could to learn and train that can improve yourself in your situation, in the skill sets. So anything like that goes into this. Even education, it can go into this investing in future. You can keep 10 to 20%, depends on where you are. But if you're not, this is a good area to start, even a little bit. If you have like high credit card debt, maybe you want to pay it off. Like I said, everything is situational, but this is general guidelines. So at least try to have 10 to 20% for future you are investing in yourself. And then next you have play money, fun money. This is where you get to use your money to enjoy and fun, right? I mean, what is money for if you don't enjoy it? You want to enjoy it, obviously, and that everybody loves to buy. Everybody loves to enjoy your money. You can keep 5 to 10%. Well, you can go up to 20% too if you want to, but just have an idea. Now, if you are somebody who loves to gamble and you're spending all like 30% money on fun money, and you're not a professional gambler like making income, but you're losing money. So this is an area you want to look at. Like if you're spending like 5 to 10%, you're pretty fine. But if you're spending like 30%, 40% on just fun stuff, probably not a good idea. So it's generally a guideline, but it's relative. Like you can keep even 15%. It's up to you because it's all about you. It's not specific like a strict guideline, because it's not a strict exact, because it's all your money. Your life is different. You are different. Everybody's different, and your timing is different. Your timing is very different when you're in 20s versus when you're in 70s. So have some money for fun money, play money, so you can enjoy whatever it means to you. Getting a nice massage, or taking a vacation, travel, whatever it means to you. Fun, enjoy. And then you also have some charity, like giving money. Now, it shows that if you're giving some charity, it shows that you have some abundance of money, like you're letting it go. So it shows some abundance, and it's also other ways it can also help you spiritually. It depends on what it means to you, but I give it I give it any even small is fine. It really doesn't have to be 10%. Some people are like 10% charity, but it really up to you. But at least just have this separate category in your money management skill, like when you review, like once a month or whenever you can review. Have something for at least 1% to 10%. Some people are 10%, but you don't have to. It's up to you based on where you are in financially, because you can just keep it small, like 2% or even 3%, depending on where you are. But if you're paying high credit card interest rate, probably you want to look at and see where you want to manage. It's all up to you, because it's your money, your life. And then this covers the high level. I mean, there's a lot more to it. Like you probably looked at this thing. The investing itself can be a huge topic, and there are a lot of other things. Even this needs itself, there's a lot of management you could do, like kind of in this when you dig into deep into your needs, which is the biggest expense, obviously. And I mean, I'm already assuming your taxes are paid. Now, if you're self-employed, you do have to keep for your taxes separate because it's not your money. You gotta pay the government, right? So if you're a paycheck and you get your money, whatever you get, your tax is already paid off. So you don't have to worry. But if you're self-employed, you're a sales professional, independent sales professional, you have to keep separate for taxes. Otherwise, at the end of the year, IRS is going to fine you if you don't pay taxes. Now you owe back, and you're going to be paying high interest. So all those things come into play depending on who you are and what's the situation. But this is a nice general overview. I'm gonna make more videos. Hope it's a good introduction. But like I said at the beginning, you need to know where you are and take one next step for yourself. And I want to give you a quick checklist because in the beginning I talked about money skills, like what are skills you have for your job right now. Checklist for money management. I'm gonna go over it quick. Like having a budget and categorizing your money into the separate needs and knowing where you stand. It doesn't need to be exact. It can be less or more. It doesn't matter, but just categorizing this kind of way so you know where you stand, how much percentage is going where. Because the percentages are same whether you're making $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $20,000 a month. The percentage is always going to be same. And percentage thinking is very not so easy for some people to get it. I made another video on how to save money with percentage thinking, and obviously your needs are the highest one, so that's where you probably could look around some stuff and see if you're in a situation. Um, and if you're running a business you want to grow, you probably want to invest in your marketing, in your business, in your skills, in other ways. So that's where you probably want to focus if you're running your business. Now everything is subjective. With that, I'm going to go to checklist. So the first checklist is to see budgeting, like your category, you're putting your money in all the categories and reviewing it. That's just the first skill. And use money on what you value, like you use your money what you value. And know your numbers. So have some idea of numbers, money coming in, money going out. So you look at the numbers. So if you're somebody never looking at it, so have that checklist. You just look at your numbers. Have emergency savings. You should have at least $2,000 emergency savings, at least in more actually 2 months of your living. And you probably want to enjoy your fun stuff, like whatever it is, so like this, like when you have all these items, and the one of the checklist is if you have credit card debt, you just make that high priority. And are you paying it off? Are you having a plan to pay it off? So the checklist is more like all of the things, like where you are. So you can check off like okay, 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 or maybe not. Or like if you're not investing at all, so maybe that's something you look, and maybe you can allocate a little bit more. So it's like an overview. Hope this is helpful, and I'll make more stuff.